So let's start talking about this. It was a little bit more than 5 minutes. That's my fault.
Don't
Lost track of time, but I think we had some good discussions.
Because if you're wrong,
All right,
fix it.
Shelby. Let's start with increasing.
Oh, no.
Okay, it's from
If you're done
0
with the answer, let me know.
to 120.
Okay, so Peyton, I know you all didn't work on increasing, but do you agree with Shelby and Kelsey's assessment that we increased from 0 to 120?
0 to 120, yes.
Okay, why? Emery, you were agreeing as well?
Mhm.
Okay, Peyton, why were you saying yes?
Because we started at 0, because that was the point that it starts growing. And it's also the intercepts, so it's the starting point, and then...
Ooh, let's pause on that a second. So you said the intercepts as well? Y'all good with coming back to increasing in a second so we can talk about what he was saying with intercepts? So which intercept do you think this is?
The Y.
So you're saying the y-intercept is, well, first off, why do you think it's a y-intercept?
On the Y.
It's intersecting the y-axis, right? We want to recognize that's what a y-intercept is. It just intersects the y-axis. So Peyton, what did y'all say the y-intercept actually
Could
was?
that be the origin?
Maybe.
No, it's the origin, because it intersects with the Y and the x-axis.
So what's the point for the origin?
Well, the origin is kind of like when you have a graph, and yes, I'm writing it because I'm just that type of person that writes everything, and it's in the middle of the graph.
I agree with you, but what is the point for the origin?
Well, it's 0, 0.
So my y-intercept is,
It's a point where the Y and the X meet in the exact middle. There is no point for it. It's just,
but that is the point. It is the point 0, 0.
yeah, I'm just saying it's where the Y and the X meet in the middle. So it would be the origin actually, not the starting point and the origin.
Okay.
But it's not a Y or an X axis.
But it
That's
is a
not
Y.
or an X intercept.
Well, or you could just say it's both.
Or you could just say it's the origin.
I agree with you, Peyton, but if I ask you for a y-intercept, does it cross? So like, here's the thing. When I ask about a y-intercept, does the x-axis matter?
Mm-hmm.
Does it?
If you ask for intercepts, yes.
If I ask for just a y-intercept though,
Oh, then no.
then no. The y-intercept only cares about the y-axis. What is the point where we intersect the y-axis? 0, 0. You're right that it's the origin. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. However, what I am trying to point out to you is when I ask about a y-intercept, I only care about the y-axis. That point is 0, 0. And then I would say, okay, so x-intercept. All I care about is the x-axis. What is the point where I intersect the x-axis?
The origin.
The
0, 0.
Origin 0, 0. You're right, but I need you to understand, like, it's not just that, it's actually both. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm adding on top of, and we need to understand how they go together. They're not different ideas. Okay? Now, you were saying earlier that we're increasing because we're starting here at the origin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then why is it 0 to 120? Why isn't it 0 to 16,000?
Well, because it's not increasing increasing in feet, it's increasing in minutes.
So what do you think about that?
Increasing by the independent variable, because time is the independent variable, right? Time
Right.
doesn't stop.
Okay.
Time's going to keep going whether you get to 16,000 feet or not. So you didn't ask them, hey, how many feet does it go up to? You said how long. In other words, how much time goes by when it's increasing. It'd be 0 to 120 minutes.
There we go. That's what I want you to see. So like a thing to understand is when I say increasing, I'm talking about the y values. I am saying what y value, or I'm saying that the y values are increasing, but I want to know the domain for which that is happening. And so you said that 100% right, where you said you didn't care about the distance. I don't care what distance it increases by. I care about the time that it increases by. The y values, the distance increases from 0 minutes to 120 minutes. And that's what y'all discussed, right? So what did y'all say for decreasing?
It does not decrease.
Is that okay that it just doesn't do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. None, right? That's totally fine with me. And for everyone at home that can't see, Kelsey and Shelby are being really sassy with one another. And that's really funny. All right. So we've got our increase, we've got our decrease, we've got our x-intercept, our y-intercept. What else do we still need to address?
The
Range.
domain and the range.
Domain and the range. So, I think that was also Kelsey and Shelby, right?
Yeah.
What'd y'all come up with for your domain?
It is 0 to 120.
Okay. 0 to 120. What, do I need brackets or parentheses?
Brackets.
Why do we need brackets?
Because like, you can equal 0 and 1.
Do you agree with that, Peyton and Emery, that we can include the 0 minute and the 120th minute?
Yeah.
Right, that's a part of the graph. So it's included. And so we need to recognize that the domain is all of the independent values. I do need to bring this up though. So I forgot to ask it earlier. We use brackets for the domain. We only use parentheses here for the increase and decrease. Do you remember why? No? We just, so one, I do want you to understand, we always use parentheses for increase and decrease. But also remember, if it's increasing, it has to have a positive slope. Notice how I only touch it at one point. It's called a tangent point, tangent point. It touches at one point and I have a positive slope. If I look at this ending point right here, maybe the slope is right there, but maybe it's right here. Do I really know what direction that slope is going? It's just a single point. There's nothing else with it. So I don't know that it's increasing afterwards. So I can't include the 120 for the fact that it's increasing, right? So we're always going to use parentheses for the increase and decrease. And then you all have the range as well.
Yeah, bracket 0 to 1,800. Bracket. Wait, what?
All right, Peyton, do you agree with that? That it goes from 0 to 1,800?
0 to 1,600, or not 1,600, 16,000.
Those are very different numbers.
Yes,
Shelby, which one do you think it is?
Ours? Wait,
I
said 1,600, you said 16,000.
Well, let's look at the scale.
16,000.
It's gotta be if it's going from 2,000.
2.
That's 2,000 right here, so what does this need to be?
4,000.
6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16.
Oh.
1,000.
Kelsey,
It's a lot.
Notice how it stops right there? So what does it stop at?
16,000.
Are we all in agreement on
How did you go to
16,000?
180?
Well,
Oh, we counted the top one.
they counted this one, and they didn't realize it was going by thousands. I assume you thought it was going by hundreds, or you just didn't realize you missed a zero, I guess, when writing it down. You good now, though, Emery? So I want to address one thing. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. That mistake should never be the thing that makes us feel dumb, right? Mistakes are opportunities to learn and to grow. Those mistakes are actually the best thing for your learning. Remember, the truth about your brain was that your brain is a lot like a muscle, in that when you work it out, you're going to get stronger. You're going to improve the neurons in your brain. And so we want to focus on that idea very heavily. So what are we missing? Max and min, I think?
Yeah.
Emery, what did you all decide about maximum and minimum?
There isn't any.
Now, we do need to clarify, there is not a relative maximum or minimum. Kelsey, why do you think they said that?
I'm sorry, what was it?
Why do you think they said there is not a relative maximum or minimum?
Because it's not decreasing.
It's never decreasing, right? For it to be a relative maximum, it has to increase and then decrease. In order to have a minimum, it has to decrease and then increase. Does it ever do that?
No.
No. In Algebra 2, you will study and compare a relative minimum to absolute minimum and stuff like that. Because I will point out, is there an absolute highest point?
Yeah.
Yes. We have an absolute highest point, an absolute maximum, but we're just not sweating that right now. We're focusing on the definition of relative. And there is an absolute minimum. Again, we're just not focusing on that right now.
Yeah.
Any questions? No? Other than, Mr. Kinney, how do you make it so boring and make me fall asleep? Is that what you're saying, Shelby? I saw you punch yourself in the
You guys
face.
asked me I'm so tired, but I'm not tired in any other class with this one.
I'll be honest, I thought about that the other day. You wanna know what the biggest reason that is? You just ate. And your body typically, it does get sleepier after you eat.
But I don't eat lunch and I come in here tired.
I'm always tired.
But are you just tired in this class?
I'm always
Like, seriously.
You know, my body's getting used to running on 6 hours of sleep and the Jack's iced coffee, so we're getting there.
You should fix that. You should probably get some more sleep.
See, here's the thing
Trust
about
me.
that. Mine runs on the 6 hours, but I don't have the nice little Jack's coffee. So,
Plus, if you're gonna drink coffee, you should drink better coffee than Jack's. I'm sorry, no.
Don't disrespect Jack's.
Jack's has great chicken, okay?
But there's a Chick-fil-A less than 5 minutes down the road.
Right.
Jack's is right
down there.
You could walk, I could literally walk to Jack's right now.
Yeah, it's
I could, but I'll be honest. I would drive for 5 extra minutes and pay a little bit more to get Chick-fil-A because it's better.
That's
Yeah, I'm
amazing.
not
Your
arguing
opinion.
with you.
Okay. At least we're all in agreement that Chick-fil-A is better.
Yeah.
It's just too far away.
Yeah.
But see though, I could walk to Jack's.
Yeah, I have a car.
I do too.
I'm old.
Everybody's like,
Yeah, but I'm saying like, do you want to drive to Chick-fil-A or walk to
Yes.
Jack's?
Yes.
drive to Chick-fil-A. The answer is always drive to Chick-fil-A. At least I will go ahead and say, that's my wife's answer to
I
everything.
like walking.
Honey, I don't want to cook today. Can we just go to Chick-fil-A? No, we need to cook food. We have food at the house. All right.
Wow.
What? She knows it. I know it. We all know it. All right.
That's just mean. I mean, she's real nice to you. She has to put up with you.
I know, and she does. She does. But also, it is cheaper to cook food than it is to buy food.
But you could be nice and just take her
Not
to
unless you go to
Chick-fil-A.
McDonald's and get a McChicken.
See, I
Or
don't
McDonald's,
hate myself
right.
enough to go to McDonald's.
Right.
I used to go to McDonald's, and I just got tired. So, like, legitimately, there's a McDonald's near my house, and the last 4 or 5 times my wife and I went, we spent 10 or more minutes waiting on McDonald's food. And I'm like, your food is not good enough to be waiting 15 minutes for. I could go sit down and order at Pastor's Kitchen and get my food quicker than that. Like, come on.
I mean, it's good when you're starving.
Pastors? It's Pastor's Kitchen.
But he's Spanish, and they call him Pastor.
Oh, I know that.
Kids?
I just call it
I do not have kids.
That'd
Alright,
be horrible.
let's look at number 3. So, starting here, this is on the next page. Sierra looked at the data collected by her 2 friends and made several of her own observations. Explain why you either agree or disagree with each observation made. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, we're going to stop here for the whole class discussion today. You're going to get a chance to just work with the person next to you for the rest of today on working through all these different ideas. We will address them and discuss and compare answers tomorrow, but work with your partner, talk through the ideas, and figure out whether you agree or disagree with each statement. But do notice, you're not just saying whether you agree or disagree. You need to... I know, it's so tough, but here, legitimately, guys, I need y'all to understand. When we do math and we look at math in the real world, it's important to justify our answers and explain why we think this. If you just put agree or disagree, you have a 50-50 shot at getting it right. That's not going to help you prepare for quizzes and for tests. All right? You need to be able to think through things. By the way, did I mention that we have a quiz coming up?
No, what?
Okay.
Oh, that would have been nice to know.
He's like,
Do you even know when the quiz is yet?
No.
So why don't you get a little bit sassier? Oh wait, hold on. It's not till Monday.
It still would have been nice to know, you know.
You've got 4 days.
Oh.
The quiz will cover the linear and exponential functions and equations and tables and graphs. And it's going to cover these features of functions.
Are you gonna put more grades in before the progress reports go out?
How many? I have over 10 grades in the grade book. How many do you need?
No more. We don't need any more. We
So
need no more.
here's the thing to remember. 1, if you're not a fan of any assignment that you've turned in, then you can redo it and resubmit it to earn a higher grade. That's the thing I keep saying with Schoology over and over again. If there's anything you have a 0 on, you can submit it.
Then graph literacies,
You-
extra those.
You can still submit them. It'll be points off because it's late, but it's better than getting a 0. I never take.
So if I do that tonight, will it go on the progress report in the morning?
I will say this, if you do it tonight, and I should be able to grade it tomorrow morning, and
No, they were
it-
printed out today.
they are printed out today, but I can sign off on what your new grade is.
Okay.
Is that reasonable? Okay, so please notice, like, if you are missing an assignment, you can always turn it in, unless it's like a homework that we check in class, you can turn it in late, you'll just get some points off,
And I
right?
don't think you put the grade in for that, essay.
I have not put the grade in for the essay, I won't get that in until this weekend. Sorry.
Because when I say it, all kind of was screwed up.
So I will get those essay grades in this weekend. I just also, so I don't think I've told you all this yet, but I am taking classes at the University of Alabama as well. So not only am I planning lessons for this class and grading and all that stuff, but I'm also having to do my own assignments as well. So it's taking a little bit more time than normal. And Schoology takes more time. I don't know if y'all heard other teachers complain, but I assume other teachers have complained because it just takes a little bit more time. But anyways, let's take our last 10 minutes. We're going to work on these, work as far as you can, because I'll be honest with you. If we can finish all of this early tomorrow, for the first time, I might let you have some free time in class where you can just chill. But we actually would need to finish this early, so we need to focus and talk and get to work.
Mr.
Yes, ma'am.